SRM, and I'm back with another edition. You know what it is? Mindset Monday. Let me ask you something. What are you working on right now? I'm not talking about right now, this moment as you're watching this video, but I'm talking about what are your hands touching? What's your career like? What kind of job do you have? What are your hobbies? What is it that you're putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into? And I want you to think about that as I talk about something. I want to share a story with you. It's been a little while since I've shared a story. You all know how I love stories. So I heard this a couple of months ago, and it hit me, and it challenged me, and I want to give it to you. So look, the story goes like this. There was this CEO, this large company, and he had hundreds of thousands of employees. But he had a couple of employees that he worked with very closely. One of them was a master builder. This guy, anytime there was a project, anytime there was something that needed built, the CEO would call on this guy. Let's call him Bob. So he called him into his office one day and he said, Bob, a friend of mine needs a house. And they didn't ask me for the house, but I want to bless them with it. I want to be a blessing to them. And I trust you to build it because you're the best builder I know. That's why you work on all of my projects. Bob said, that's no problem. I'll do it. He said, hold on a second, Bob. As a favor for me, I need you to do this for free. And Bob was hesitant because he knows how much it costs to build a beautiful home. But just because he's loyal, he said, okay, I'll do it. And the guy said, be on your way. So Bob started to build this house. But he did it a little differently than he did his other houses. See, Bob used to pick the best products, the best wood, the best siding, the best brick, the best appliances. But because he was building it for someone else, he wanted to save a little bit of money because it was coming out of his pocket. So Bob bought some good lumber, but it wasn't the best lumber. He started to build it. He bought some siding, but it wasn't the best siding. Then he worked his way inside. The same thing happened with the electrical work. The same thing happened with the drywall, with the paint, with the crown molding. He put some supplies in there, but they were not the best supplies. Because listen, this was coming out of his pocket. So Bob built the house. After 3 or 4 months, the house was done. And it was still a beautiful home. He took pride in his work. This wasn't his best work, but it was still beautiful. Anyone else that would look at this house would want to move in. So Bob got the keys to the place. He went to the CEO, knocked on the door. CEO said, come in. He goes in, he says, sir, I've done exactly what you've asked me to do. I know you and I have a great relationship. He tossed him the keys. He said, I hope your friend enjoys the home. The CEO held the keys. He says, well, you tell me. And he tossed the keys back to Bob. And Bob looked at him like he was crazy. The CEO said, no, Bob, you have selflessly worked for me. You've grinded. You put everything you had into all of our projects. And I want to give you a home. And he wrote a check for the expenses that it took Bob to build the home and gave him a check and gave him the keys. And in that moment, Bob, instead of being appreciative, was upset. He was upset because he knows that he didn't build the home to the best of his ability. He knows that he cut corners. He knows that it could have been better. It could have been grander. But he decided not to put everything into it because it wasn't for him. I hope you caught that. Listen, don't be like Bob. What you want to do is anything that you do, anything that your hand touches. Listen, scripture tells us, Ecclesiastes 9:10 says, whatever your hands touch it, do it with all your might. Listen, what you put your hands on is a reflection of you. I don't care what your job is right now. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's, Burger King. I don't care if you are a CEO. Whatever your hands touches is a reflection of you, of your character, of your integrity. So don't make the mistake of not putting your all into things, because everything that you do is going to come back around. In Bob's case, he moved into a new house, but it could have been a lot better. Do not block your blessing by not working on things in your current season. Apply that to your life. I love that story. You know where to find me. I'm out.